Page 12, Summer Dreams. Well, let's look this over and see what we get. It's 2 pages long, treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature. We're in the key of C major. Do the C major scale. If you're doing minor scales, do the A minor. If you're not, then just C major is okay. Time signatures 4/4 time. Let's take this one hand at a time, make sure we know what the hands are doing here. The right hand, you're starting here. 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2 and. Now here, measure 4. 1, 2, 1. I don't care for that fingering, but it's okay, we can use it. Then reach up here 2. 1, 2. And then next one, the A, first one's 3 and then 2. Because we have a D coming up and we're not in position for it. We got to get there. So it's 3, 2. This puts us in position. Reach up. And then the thumb just comes up one note and claps. And then come up. 1 and 2 and 3. 1. If these tied notes are bothering you, then take out the tie temporarily and play all the notes. Measure 9. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Get the idea? But when you can get that okay, then just put the tie, then hang on to the note. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and thumb. I don't see anything tricky in here. I'll measure 19 here. It's the same thing you had at the beginning. We're just an octave higher. You were down here. Now we're up here. All right. Last line, measure 25. You're here. Then measure 26. You see the RH at the bottom? It's not real clear, but they want the right hand to do that measure. You're down here. You're going to help the left hand out. And then the left hand, the LH, that does the next measure and the last measure. The left hand finishes it. Speaking of left hand, at the beginning, you're just here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. And to measure 3, if you don't want to be up in here, you can use second finger on the A flat. I don't know how big your hands are. And then measure 5. What is this? Well, it's a C, a D, and an F. So you just spell out the chord and get it. It's here. 2, 3, 4. Measure 7, it's the same thing except we have an F sharp. Oh, isn't that nice? And then go up. Just the little finger come down here. Okay. Now on measure 16, when you're down here and going to measure 17, I'd use 4 on the whole note. I don't want to use little finger on bow. I don't recommend it. Use 4 for measure 17 on the whole note. 4, 1. And then you can use 5 for the next one. And then we're doing that some more. Okay. Now, last line, measure 25, you're down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the right hand does the next measure, and then you do this other mess up here. It's a D, an E, and a G. And then the last measure is a C with an 8V8 under it, means they're down here. If you have a short keyboard, you don't have it, just play the lowest C you have. It's close enough. Then we put the hands together here. 4. Measure 9. The left hand has a rest on the last beat. 1 and 2 and 3. So when I play the E, that comes up. Gotta move anyway. Get the idea. You put the hands together. I already did. Then go back over it slowly and carefully a few hundred times and get rid of the hesitation. So it's a steady beat. And once we do that, I think about the articulation. And here, it's very connected. You lift up for the rest. Otherwise, it's connected. They have these slurs in the left hand. I suggest you just connect them. Phrasing in the right hand, but for the most part it's written in because they give you rests. And then once I have the articulation under control, I'll think about the dynamics. It applies to the melody. In this case, it's the right hand. MP at the beginning, mezzo piano, is sort of soft. This left hand needs to be in the background, but that first note is by itself in the left hand, so it's got to be loud enough to be heard. but it doesn't need to sound like melody. No, it's got to sound like background, softer, then come up. As to measure 8, you get the crescendo, go up to moderately loud here. Da, 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 that moderately loud. The left hand stays soft. So measure 8, soft. Staying there until measure 18 or so, and you get down. Well, this dies away on its own in measure 18. If the left hand is soft, it's soft. Go down to very soft here. And now we're back like we're at the beginning, moderately soft. But this first note in measure 19 got to be under that. It's got to. And then measure 22, you go up to moderately loud again, and you can read the dynamics. And then the speed. Andante cantabile. It's a nice singing, gentle speed. To me, andante is like a stroll. You're just kind of strolling, walking along, not going anywhere particular. You're just kind of walking. It's a stroll. Don't walk too slowly. Don't drag it. That doesn't work well on piano because the piano's too percussive. It needs to flow. If you had an instrument like a violin or a wind instrument that could sustain the sound, you can get away with going slower, but not so much on a piano. And then, of course, they've added pedal. Well, Summer Dreams, I guess they want a little bit of a moggy, misty. And it's slow enough you have time to hear the notes. So we'd like to add the overtones to color them a little bit. That's sort of what piano can do, or pedal can do. But we don't, well, it's a personal taste. If I pedal it the way it is here, this is what it sounds like. It's overlapping, or like pedal, the notes go down first and then the pedal. And when I change the pedal, it's after I play the notes, so the pedal overlaps a little bit. So here. That's what it sounds like. And if that's the dreamy, foggy feel you want, go for it. I don't care for it at all. I really don't. I like a little cleaner sound. So I think I'm going to adjust the pedal a little bit, and it's based on what I'm hearing. What do I like? I experiment. Maybe I change it every 2 beats and clear it out a little bit. The melody. I want to keep the melody sort of clean, so it's here every 2 beats. Something like that. The melody's a little cleaner. When I get to measure 9 on the, or measure 8, I guess here, I don't want all that. So I think I'm going to lift up for the 8th notes. Measure 18, I'm going to lift up for the half note. I want to clear out. Because I'm dying away, I'm slowing down here, I don't want so much notes. And then, so I'm changing it like every couple of beats, except when the 8th notes come along, I usually lift up for those so I don't smear them. It's a personal effect. Now at the end, the last 4 measures or so, they want the pedal down, just smear it all together. Here, here. So you get all of that sound, that's fine. It's an effect. It's okay. Now at the beginning, here. If I want to change the pedal, I have to be careful because I lose the first note in the left hand. See, that first note goes away. That first note's kind of important. It really is. So what I can do is I can finger pedal the note. We do a lot of finger pedaling in piano. You simply hold it down with your finger. That's what the pedal would do. It'd let it ring out. Well, I want to change the pedal. I want to keep the note. I got to hold it down with the finger. So I pretend that first note is a whole note. So this way I can keep it all the way through. Something? Yeah, it's something to think about. We make these little adjustments to get the sound we're after. How much slow down at the end, the ritardando, you feel that. Don't slow down a lot because then those whole notes last forever. Ugh. That's my impression of it. If I played it again, I would play it differently. I'm sure I play by feel. It's what? It's the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Feel the natural accents as you go through it too. Let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm going to pedal it like I suggested. Although you don't need pedal on this, I think you do fine without. I'll give us 4 counts. We're not performing it. I'm not going to do louds and softs. We're just checking notes and rhythms is all. 1, 2, ready and go, and 1.